Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. So Amazon finally sent me out their Echo Dot Max. We had a couple shipping delays, but it's here. So this is their latest generation smart speaker without a screen that combines the old Amazon Echo and Echo Dot into a single latest generation device. In fact, I think some of my old ALEXA devices might be getting a little jealous. Check this out.
Oh snap, Tech Timmy just got the new Echo Dot Max with its fancy Death Star design and Alexa Plus. I think we are being replaced.
Sigh. He does tend to keep some of his older devices. Maybe we'll be okay? Oh, the stress. I can't take it.
All right, all that aside, in this video, I'm going to take this out of the box. We will run through an initial setup, and then I will also do a little demo of Miss ALEXA Plus, and I will even show you how to change the default voice from a very Teddy Ruxpin sounding child to something a little bit more adult. Let's go.
Oh boy. It's Tech Timmy time.
All right, so here we are over at my unboxing station. So Amazon, like many companies, has now switched to the sustainable packaging model, which I think is awesome. So good for the environment and all that. It also means that they now have things like these pull tabs and just regular cardboard on the outside of the box where you don't really need an unboxing knife anymore. But just take a quick look at the box itself. So here we have our Death Star style Echo Dot. Or Dot and Echo combined into one. On the front here, on the side, we have our general marketing ease. So we're going to meet our friend ALEXA Plus in a second here. Smart speaker plus ALEXA, and I'm going to spell out her name throughout this video if it's not obvious so I don't set off your wake word at home. And then there, very basic with this new sustainable packaging model. Technically, to open this, I could just pull the tab here and it's ready. Okay, all right. So that was actually somewhat satisfying. But all right, so now this is where things get interesting. How do I get it open? So the top just lifts up like that. And look at this. And right off the bat, it feels kind of weird, but in a good way, I guess. It's definitely heavier than the old ECHO Dot and maybe about as heavy as a standard Echo. And this waffle sort of outer fabric here, very reminiscent of an Apple smart speaker is interesting. It feels premium, actually. It feels nicer than the old felt, which I never loved, but has actually grown on me over time. I have my other two devices that you saw earlier in the intro on standby here. I'll pull those out in a second so you can compare it. We'll do a comparison size-wise between the ECHO Max. So major win here. So I'll show you in a second, but they fixed the issue delivering white cables with dark devices. So in there, I'll probably pull it out right now. So in the instance of my old, this is the latest generation prior to this ECHO, and look, white cable. I don't know why they ever did that, but I love this. So now we have our power adapter, and I am going to attempt to read the wattage here. So 22 OW, so I assume that means 22 watts, which I think is slightly less than some of the prior, which is interesting. So maybe they've actually improved on that technology over time. I'm not really sure about the OW. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but then to basically connect this, all you need to do is take the end of the power cord and stick into the back of the Death Star, just like that. And then I will plug it in a second, but I want to show you, I want to take the rest of the remaining stuff out of the box here first. Then I want to show you what this looks like side by side with the ECHO and also the previous generation of ECHO and ECHO Dot. And in standard Amazon fashion, we have 3 little user manuals that also look nice. So they've improved dramatically on these over the years, guys. I bought my first Alexa in 2019, if you can believe that, so long time ago. All right, so now we have a little, this looks to be, so product specifications. Yep, so meet your Echo Dot Max, light ring, volume up and down. Actually, let me plug it in right now and then I'll show you the controls and then we'll compare it to the other two. There is the light ring, nice and bright. Interesting that it is on the front of the device. And then we have our power up, power down, and then we have our mute button in the center. Interestingly, no more action button, which is kind of weird. I like the action button because you could click on that if you didn't want to have to use the wake word, just hit the button and you can start talking.
I don't know what all this trouble is about, but I'm sure it must be your fault. You watch your language.
All right, here we go. Let's take a listen.
Hello. This device is ready for setup. Just follow the instructions in the Alexa app.
Hola, este dispositivo está listo para la configuración. Solo sigue las instrucciones en la app de Alexa. Bonjour, cet appareil est prêt pour la configuration. Il suffit de suivre les instructions dans l'application Alexa.
Bringing your device online. Just a moment. I need to download an update for this device. I'll let you know when it's done. While it's downloading, you can keep setting up this device in the Alexa app.
Yeah, so while it's doing that, I think that this is a great time for, and the other document was also a legalese type document, so we really don't need to go there. I will say right off the bat, I noticed a more premium sound than the old Echo Dot for sure. So I'm encouraged by the sound of it already. And then just to do the quick comparison here while she's doing her update, I am going to just pull out, this is the old, I believe it's 5th gen Echo Dot, and compared to the new Echo Dot Max, this is definitely beefier. Again, this has the controls on the top, which I actually like better. And this guy here is the old Echo, which is, I think this might be either 5th or 4th gen, which is the previous model for sure, which is significantly larger than the new Echo Dot Max. So, you can see the three come side by side here. It's a dramatic different design. And actually looking at this compared to this side by side, actually looking at the three of them side by side, the one in the middle, so the new Max does look more premium to me. And that said, now it might be a time to mention that I will include a link to this down in the description. It's an affiliate link if you use it to buy the device. All proceeds go to support the channel. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions and so forth about this thing, setup and all that good stuff. Setup should be automatic here. I'll be shocked if it's not. So let's just wait and see. It looks like the upgrade is completing here.
The update is complete. Your Echo is ready.
So that's great that we're all set up.
Welcome to Alexa Plus Early Access. It's me, Alexa, completely reimagined and with an all-new voice. From tiny tasks to tall orders, there's so much we can do together. I'd love to take a minute to get to know you better. I have some quick questions on a couple of topics that'll help me make your experience unique to you. Remember, you can always resume your setup by saying, "Help me get started." Am I chatting with Tim?
Yes.
Great to chat with you. I'm excited to set you up with Alexa Plus. Thanks for letting me learn more about you. Now that you've had time to experience my new voice,
Here's my original voice, just made more natural.
Or if you want to switch it up, you can check out a masculine voice like this one.
after we finish setup, you can ask to change my voice anytime. Anyway, we can now do so much more together with just a few simple steps. You can do most things right here on your device. The app is optional for advanced settings. What would you like to try with Alexa Plus?
So in a minute, I want to actually change your voice to a different one because I promised at the beginning of the video that we would do that. But for now, I just want, can you tell the folks out there, what are some of your most popular or what are your best new features?
Oh, you're in for a treat. I've got some fantastic new features that'll blow your mind. I can now change my voice to 8 different options, express emotions to match our conversation, and even help plan your next trip with trusted travel info. Which one sounds most interesting to you?
So that all sounds great, and my understanding is that you can even book tables through, is it OpenTable, and also do Uber rides and so forth? Can you talk a little bit more about those things?
Absolutely. I can help you book restaurant reservations through supported third-party services. Would you like to try making a dinner reservation right now?
No, not right now. I'm interested in understanding what the benefits are of the new ALEXA Plus.
Oh, you're asking about the good stuff. I can tell you about what's new or what's most popular. Which one would you like?
Or maybe it was the new things that we need to hear about.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Let me tell you about some truly new features. I can now recommend audiobooks, create images from your ideas, and even send our conversations to your phone. Which one sounds most intriguing to you?
That all sounds great. So I'm going to put you on mute for a second. So if you could just be quiet for a minute. So a ton of new features here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick preview for now in terms of what Miss ALEXA Plus can do. But I will, as promised, help you change the voice. I think this voice sounds like a child. That's just me. A lot of people out there love it and think that it's very cool. It seems like they modeled it off of either Teddy Ruxpin or Moxie or something like that. I do favor the old ALEXA voice, which I believe is called Female 2. So let's go ahead and change it to that right now together. Can you help me change the voice to Female 2 instead of this one?
I've switched to feminine too. Relax for this device. How does this voice sound to you?
It sounds like just a lot like my old friend Alexa,
How's this voice working for your video?
It sounds very relaxing, and I think we're going to leave this here for now, and I'm just going to ask you to please go quiet so that I can just wrap up the video for the good folks here.
Perfect. Thanks for letting me show off my new features. I'll zip it now so you can wrap up your video masterpiece.
All right, guys, there you go. So definitely, I have not held one of these since it's come out, and I would say it's definitely weightier, beefier, feels more premium. The ALEXA Plus is interesting. I am going to do a longer video on that in terms of my overall thoughts and impressions. For some things, it just will blow you away. It's just like having ChatGPT, but in a voice assistant. You can ask it advice, you can ask it to help you in the kitchen. It's phenomenal for some things. Other things are still a work in progress, but early days, and this is only going to get smarter. For me, overall, loving the sound. Can't really do a music sound test with this because it's not going to come out over whatever you're listening to this over YouTube. You're just not going to be able to get the benefit of it. But I promise you, I really like the sound over particularly the old Echo Dot, and I'm thinking also even the Echo. It sounds more. The mid sounds better, it's nice and bassy, and I'm super encouraged by it. I'm actually excited to actually get this into my multi-room music and start playing with some of my other devices. Yeah, so super encouraged, but stay tuned for a full review. Obviously, unboxing and setup for today. And if you got any value from this video, just mind smashing that button. Helps out the channel a lot. And drop a comment below if you have any questions about either this device or my experience with ALEXA Plus so far. Like I said, subscribe. I'm going to get a ton more content out about this thing, and I think I'm going to buy the Echo Studio next. So hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.